how's it going? This is the M3 podcast. It's Davis and your boy Jaden as usual.
Yeah, boy.
Um, we got another episode here for you. Yeah. Jaden has more content for his gaming corner as usual. We're going to be mixing things up a little bit. We don't have a whole lot of news content for you today, but we're going to be going into recapping some of the shows and movies and everything we've been recently watching and giving our thoughts on what they've been going into, giving thoughts and opinions and like what we liked about them and what have you. And then we're going to go into some of the media, games, movies, TV shows, that kind of stuff that we're looking forward to so far in 2020. Maybe a little bit of the end of 2019 if it's something that's continuing on or anything like that. But we're going to keep that list a little bit of a secret until the end because, yeah, neither of us even know what
No
each other
spoilers.
has to do,
Yeah, no
what's on each
spoilers.
other's list. So,
Don't spoilers
uh,
for me, David.
yeah.
Davis. Damn it.
Don't call me David.
Dude,
What is this?
okay, the first time I ever started meeting you, like the first time I met you, I was like, "Oh, Davis, nice to meet you." The next time I saw you, I have no idea who you are again. What's your name? I was like,
Yeah, well,
"Your
that happens with
name
everyone.
is."
Guy with the tattoo.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I know him. Yeah. Okay. So getting into the gaming corner, Davis just sent me this one. I just looked at it and I have no fucking clue what this means.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't even know what it is because, to be honest, it was kind of clickbaity. I looked at the title, I was like, "Hey, PS5 related. Maybe you'll look into it," and because you tend to like getting into those kind of details, I was like, "I don't know. Maybe that's something you'll be interested in."
hmm So, like, from what, so the title is Sony just announced a great new PS5 feature, but it was hidden in a cryptic message and stuff like that. So, the feature that everyone is thinking that this is like, this is the tweet. So, just some friends playing video games. It's got like a caterpillar, a dinosaur, a shrimp, a turtle, snail, dog, cow, and leopard. I, uh, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's just some friends playing video games, and everyone is going nuts. And it's like missing studios or like this. It shows like different studios, different games, and stuff like that. People are considering it to be like a leaked image for when the PS5 is going to be released. So it's like
Hmm.
153. Like they're making these huge fucking jumps in logic. Like if you look at this picture,
Random
yeah,
ass loopholes.
yeah, exactly. But I'm just gonna break it out right here. This basically just means that Animal Tycoon 2020 is coming to the PlayStation 5. That's all. That's all this fucking says. But everyone's just like, oh yeah, well we don't know what this is. But literally, I hate this article for one reason. It's like Sony just announced their great new PS5 feature, but it was hidden in a cryptic message. But then I feel like this goes on and on. Uh, it says, yeah, what do you think this could possibly be? Everyone has their own speculation. And fuck, we don't even know what it is. Like, we didn't do our own critical thinking. We just stole your ideas. Like, what the fuck? If you're gonna clickbait it that hard, at least try and give, like, an
Uh,
answer. The ones who
It,
think.
it exactly. It doesn't even say what they believe. It's just like, hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Here's just something. Clickbait. There we go. Clickbait. Here's some ads on our website. There you
Yeah.
go. Scroll through.
No, well, good thing I have ad block, LMAO. You see this thing in the top right corner? This is called ad block. I fucking hate these websites who are like, yeah, we clickbait for ad revenue. Go fuck yourself. But and like the one thing that I think this article actually said well is because do you remember a few like weeks ago there was that feature that the PS5 came out with is like you can give your friend who lives across the country control of your controller.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about that. Yep.
yeah, so apparently it's some people are thinking it's like, yeah, instead of having four people fuck up your controller, it's gonna have eight. It's like,
What the
why
fuck?
would you want this? Except for like playing with a bunch of people. The only group that I could really think of that would be able to use this really well is a group of people that for some reason have eight PS4 controllers or PS5 controllers, but only one PlayStation to play it on. That's like the only group this benefits, or like YouTubers or something like that. This has
Yeah.
no other benefit other than like entertainment value. So I'll give it that. I'll give it props that it's like, yeah, this could be slightly fun and entertaining for people that decide to use this. But other
Hmm.
than that, I don't know
Yeah. Yeah.
who
We
who
went
the
down a little bit of a rabbit hole about how it kind of sorta could be used, but can't see an actual practicality of what it would be.
exactly other than like making stupid challenge videos because I know a few years ago when Black Ops 3 was like all the rage, people were doing the one-handed challenge. So one person would
Hmm.
have one hand on their side of controller, the other hand on the other side. So one person would be in charge of aiming and shooting and
Hmm.
interacting with items. Meanwhile, the other person was in control of movement and aiming down. So
Hmm.
I think I just said aiming twice, but fuck it, whatever. So
Yeah, but
like
exactly.
that's the only way I could really see this working. But other than that, I don't see any use for this. So
Yeah,
that's all we're gonna say about that. We've already
but
covered this.
the only thing I see, I didn't even remember Zoo. What did you just say? Zoo Tycoon or like the? Because
Yeah,
I only remember those as like Roller Coaster Tycoon is the only one I really remember,
hype.
and it was yeah, and it was the game that you got in your cereal box, and it was from like like getting back in the 90s or whatever. So I
Hmm.
didn't even realize that like
Do they
you
even
would
still
actually
give
play.
out toys in cereal
No,
boxes? No, that's
hell no. That'd be considered too dangerous because it's a choking hazard, and
oh my fucking god. You
yeah,
wrap it
I
in a
think that
plastic bag in cereal. What fucking kid is just like not paying attention that they just like this isn't
I
the
think
chick and that's in what was it? Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping. You know that part where Andy Samberg like takes dog shit and cooks it into the pancakes to see whose friend there is. There's like the one chick that just keeps eating the dog shit pancakes, even though
I've
everyone's
seen
already
that movie,
expressed
but I
these.
don't remember what that scene because
So
that's how.
there's like a scene in that movie where Andy Samberg is starting to lose like his fame and stuff like that, and he's starting to learn the value of friendship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he decides to test all the people around him, who are my real friends and stuff like that. So what he does is he takes dog shit and he cooks it into this pancake batter and makes pancakes, and he gives it to everyone to see who will give their honest opinion, who will like be more conservative and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna say yes to make you happy and stuff like that. And there was a chick
Mhm.
that was just like on her phone eating this like shit pancake while everyone had already expressed like, dude, you mixed dog shit in our pancakes. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like stuff like that. And she's just like eating it away, and everyone just like looks over, just like, what the fuck, right? So like that's exactly what this what that reminded me of. I think Davis just froze again. Yeah, he definitely froze. Excuse me. Well, we'll be right back for with technical problems.
Cut off. I have no idea why that happened, but
That is okay. Good thing we're. All right, so we're back after that weird event that just occurred. That
yeah, my internet decided to crash randomly. I don't know why. My apologies, everyone.
was a fun time, fun times here. Okay, so what were we talking about? We're talking about this PS5 feature, and then we were gonna move on because we were
Hmm.
talking about Andy Samberg serving dog shit pancakes. So that was a fun little rabbit hole. I don't know why
Yeah.
that part in the movie just stuck out, but yeah, it did. But speaking of movies, Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution is coming to Netflix in February. So you
Based off like the original Pokemon, like the movie, like from like the 90s.
yeah, from like the one where Mewtwo creates all the clones of the Pokemon and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's
doing
like
that.
the only Pokemon movie I've seen.
Yeah, it is. It looks pretty fun, but there are a few things I wanted to point out. So, we're gonna go to this right now. So, like, the animation style is actually really cool if this video decides to not play in 200p quality. Can we please just bump it? There we go. Now it's in HD. It's really cool. It's like a little like claymation kind of movie. And the one
Hmm.
thing that I don't like about it so far is when you get to the point where they start cloning everyone, like cloning all the Pokemon, the markings that are actually on the Pokemon do not look nearly as good as they should. Do you remember in the old movie where like the markings were really distinct and all over and stuff? Like you had
Dark.
like
Yeah,
the dark lines and
I
stuff.
actually watched. Yeah, I watched it pretty recently, like about I would say 3 months ago or something like that. I watched it, so I remember it
Hmm.
pretty well.
Yeah, well, this one's a little bit harder to see, so I'm hoping that they will actually darken it up a little bit. But the sound
Hmm.
effects are on point. The Pokemon look super duper cool. So I am really really excited to see this movie. Uh,
Is it still Gen 1 or are they gonna include
yeah, it's still Gen 1, so it's all the
just
all the Gen 1ers, as they're called, the elitists that Gen 1 is the best Pokemon game ever made, they will still be
Yeah.
satisfied with this movie.
Well, it's because it's true, okay?
No, it's not.
No one's beaten my Pikachu and my Charizard, bitches.
Dude, Blaziken will beat the fuck out of your Pikachu. I will destroy you.
Come on.
And my
Go
Chinchou,
to a random random person on the street and show them a picture of a Pikachu, they'll know what it is.
they'll know what it is.
Everyone knows Pikachu, okay?
Well, that's because
That's all I can say.
people are like, yeah, do you know what this Pokemon is? And they'll automatically say Pikachu if they don't know the answer, because they're like, I might as well just say a Pokemon name instead of, trying. Because it's like, what is this one? It's like it's like a Squirtle, so it's a turtle, water, and it's like, Pikachu. What the
Okay, let's
pisses
not
me.
go down to this rabbit hole. We've already established that you're more of a Pokemon fan than I am.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, speaking of other
No,
films...
no raging over Pokemon, I'm sorry.
I like raging over Pokemon. Anyways, so the next thing we have is, well, we're gonna talk about The Witcher, which Davis finished a little bit later on, but there's actually an anime coming to Netflix as well. So Netflix, like the actual Netflix Twitter account, said the rumors are true. A new Witcher story is in the works. The anime film, The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf, will take us back to a new threat facing the continent. Brought to you by the Witcher team, with 2 tags, and the studio behind The Legend of Korra. So the studio behind Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Oh, nice.
Isn't that what it is? Let me
I don't know.
Let me 100% check this, because it's not.
Are we talking about
Yeah, it is.
the
Okay.
anime?
Yeah, the anime.
Okay, not the 2009 movie.
No, we're not
Very,
talking.
very terrible
Fuck that movie. I hate that movie so much. Why does it take 5 dudes to move a rocket 2 miles per hour? Doesn't make any sense.
I've never watched it because I was never really an Avatar fan, so
Dude,
I just know that it was shitty.
what? You have to. Okay, it's on. It's very spotty on Netflix. It's either like look at it one week, it's like, hey, it's there. Maybe I'll watch it at some point. Then you're like, oh yeah, I'll go watch it, and then it's off Netflix, and you just sit there and you're just like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? So, yeah, Legend of Korra is Avatar: The Last Airbender. So Davis, go fucking watch it. Go watch it. It is really good.
Why would I waste my time with a bad movie?
No, not the movie. The anime.
Yeah.
The anime.
Oh, I thought you were. No, I was talking about. Yeah.
You've seen the.
Yeah, I was talking about the movie. I've never. Well, actually, no, I've never watched the anime either. But
Yeah. Okay. So I was right. So yeah, go watch the anime. It is a really good anime. Don't watch the movie. I saw the trailer, and all it was just 5 dudes just trying to move a rock, and it was just like, it's like, in the anime, a 10-year-old blind girl is able to kick a fucking mountain at like the speed of a fucking fighter jet. Meanwhile, in this, it's like,
maybe I will get into. I am looking for another like show that you don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to, like a reoccurring show to watch. So maybe I'll finally start watching it.
Yeah, but anyways,
So, yeah.
I'm excited for a Witcher anime because I loved what was it, Castlevania, the anime based on the video games, where it's like vampires and bad guys and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I'm excited for this as well. But speaking of release dates that are not on Netflix, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated came out with a release date.
Fuck.
Have you never? We've talked about this.
Is that based off the game, the GameCube game?
It's a remaster of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I remember playing that, and it was, you had like his karate gloves, and it was like, I think there was like a spinning move or something like that.
So yeah,
I
it's
vaguely remember it.
So apparently there were apparently 2 different release dates shown for the game at first. One of those was said to be May 24th, while the other was said to be May 22nd. So either way, it's like in a few days of each other. It could be release dates for different platforms, which I don't think makes sense. But according to this, was through the infographic has apparently been corrected with the ladders, which can be seen through the Nintendo site. So apparently, the cool thing about this is this release date seems to be more likely since it have the game come out on the same release day as SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run.
Mm,
So it would be
that
like
makes sense.
movie then video game. So that's actually really really cool. So I think this would be a
Is
remaster I would totally get because
is this movie gonna be like a continuation of the live action movie that came out in what was it, 2017 or 2018, something like that?
I don't believe so. I think it's its own animated thing. Let me double check. It's like SpongeBob
Or
on the Run. I put Sponge Boobo. I don't know why I did that, but
don't
SpongeBob Boobo.
don't get some random hentai porn
Yeah. So SpongeBob
by
on the
going
Run.
SpongeBoob.
It's the animation where it tells about the backstory of SpongeBob and Gary. So like how they
Oh,
met and Gary was on the run. So they're
that's
I'm
so they're
excited.
doing the same. The sorry to like derail it a little bit, but they're doing the same story with Scooby Doo. There's a new Scooby Doo movie that's coming out that's based off of how Shaggy like adopted Scooby.
And how they
Apparently,
met the gang and stuff like that. Yeah. So
yeah, apparently,
welcome to the year of reboots and backstories. Not
yeah.
many original IPs, but we will get into some IPs, such as Cyberpunk 2077, which got its release date pushed back to September, I believe. So I can't remember when it was supposed to come out at first, but Cyberpunk 2077 has been confirmed to be pushed back. But yeah, it was apparently it was
It's
supposed to
gonna
be
make the
released.
game better.
Yeah, hopefully. It was supposed to be released April 16th, 2020, but now it's September 17th, 2020, so 2 days after my birthday. Hint, hint, Davis for a gift. Hint, hint. But yeah, I I was super saddened to hear that Cyberpunk 2077 got pushed back, but this usually means that the game is better. But there
Yeah.
are instances where that's not the case, like Aliens Colonial Marines. I heard that game was like, oh, it was canceled and then they brought it back and then it turned out to be shit. They were like, oh yeah, the Alien game where you're supposed to be fighting aliens and stuff like that, it's just a Call of Duty clone ripoff with terrible
Hmm.
AI and textures and shit like that and a terrible like boss fight. At least that's what Angry
That's
Joe says.
that's like when movies like what happens because I know Up in the Air there's been Up in the Air for like the Uncharted movies supposed to be happening, not happening, happening, not happening. No
Mhm.
one's fully attached to it. Like that happens with movies
Well,
often sometimes too. Is that
that's well,
or same thing with like the Gambit movie. The Gambit movie's been off and on for years now too.
Well, they keep dropping directors and stuff like that. It's like, guys, just pick a fucking director. You have Tom Holland. This movie's gonna be a success anyways. But also,
Yeah.
I say that, but then they turn out a complete shit movie, and then I'd be like, come on, why didn't you make Tom Holland look good? Tom Holland was the only good thing in this, and the story sucked, and it wasn't
Well,
part of the
they
games.
it's because it's Uncharted, and I still don't understand why the focus is Tom Holland. Like they should you it should be Nathan Fillion.
Mhm.
If all there's already footage of Nathan Fillion as Drake,
Yeah.
but
So it should be Nathan Fillion. I will say that. So
so
yeah. Well,
but Tom Holland as young version would make sense. So
yeah, it
anyway,
makes it. That's
but
what they're
that's
going towards, but also like I don't know if they can. I think there was like scheduling conflicts or some shit like that, but
yeah,
I
and
guess we'll
there's
find out.
exactly scheduling and directing and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's
So
it's just go back to the point of being like yeah things like that happen and it's bloody annoying when you're anticipating something over and over again and but in the idea of a game I think it has to do especially with something as big as like 2077 there with the
mhm
hype with Keanu Reeves behind it and everything
mhm.
it's I think most likely it's going to make the game better because of things like crunch time because like gaming industry gets really bad with having to push and get and then people get really bad and stuff like that right so
Well,
I have it probably has to do with budget and other reasons but it's going to end up being for something that hyped of a game, I think it's going to end up being better in the long run.
what it was is apparently with Cyberpunk 2077. I think there was a tweet or something about this where they said, yeah, there's gonna be more time to be doing this, but they're gonna be working like 14-hour days, like with minimal breaks, just to get everything through the door to make it polished and perfect and stuff like
Oh
that.
shit.
So I don't know if you ever saw like the behind the scenes of the video game high school, like season 3 or 4 or whatever it was, like the last season.
3.
Yeah, 3. So with season 3, what it was is Freddie Wong and some of the other directors, they were the ones doing the editing. There were like 4 or 5 people doing the editing for a month, and basically all they did every single day was they would come in, they would get to work. When they were tired, they would either have a nap or chug an energy drink, go play Destiny or some shit. They get back to work, and
Mm-hmm.
they would do that for a solid few years. And they're like, "Okay, next time we'll just spend the money and we'll hire editors to do a good job for us."
I find that funny that you bring that up because I literally just listened to a podcast that had Freddie Wong. It was the Corridor Digital podcast, and they were talking about why there's no season 4 of High School,
Video
of
game high
Video Game
school.
High School. That's so funny that you just happened to bring that up, and I was just listening to that
hmm
earlier today.
There's a like, why isn't there a season 4 of it? Is it just because?
uh, he said the story is complete. Like the character's journey. Like they didn't want to expand it into adding in too much stuff. He was saying that maybe they can continue the concept with different characters, but that
hmm
character, his story is done. They wanted to make it a like a high school romance type thing and everything, and you don't get a full life and everything out of high school all the time, right? So yeah, he was
Exactly.
literally just saying, yeah, Freddie was just saying like that story is complete, and himself, him and his other people, they're trying to work on new content, actual like
Shows and stuff
mainstream
like that.
media, like television shows. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're starting to get into classic media.
Yeah. Because I remember there were only a few skits that came out right after Video Game High School was done, and that's all I've seen of them. Like Freddie Wong, I feel like hasn't been seen too much on the internet verse. Like even with Rocket Jump, they've mostly been getting into streaming and like some of that stuff rather than getting into like YouTube videos that include like high octane action scenes and stuff like that, like they used to. But I guess we'll see how that goes. And I think Davis just froze again. Motherfuck.
Get reseated.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it doesn't cut out
you
again.
can tilt your camera up a little bit if you. There you go.
So,
There,
okay,
perfect. Good. So now your
okay.
face is in. All right, attempt number 3. Holy fuck. We had to
Hello,
switch.
everyone. Welcome to
Welcome
the
back.
M3 podcast for the third time today.
Yeah, exactly. We are really having a fun time with this. Okay, where the fuck were we? We were talking about SpongeBob.
Um, SpongeBob, and then yeah, and got linked into Uncharted a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants Rehydrated comes out May 22nd. I'm actually excited for this because I think I played or SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. I think I played that a
Mhm.
lot as a kid. So, I'm excited for it. But anyways, let's keep
Yeah,
going before we crash again
yeah. I was
because
just gonna say that was one of the ones that I mentioned in previously, saying like how I mentioned like Luigi's Mansion,
mhm.
previous episodes. That
Yeah.
was another one of the ones that I would have played like after school, like on GameCube or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So,
believe so. Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. All right, so the next thing that we have is Joe Biden, the man, the myth, the legend. Apparently, he slams game developers as little creeps and arrogant. But
But he's trying to start a channel. How could he hate on
no, that was
gamers?
Bernie Sanders.
Oh, wrong person.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Joe Biden, I think, is other side of the political spectrum. But
Okay.
he calls them righteous and arrogant, but little creeps. So he was in. He got criticism for meeting with the leaders of Silicon Valley and trying to work out an agreement deal with them protecting intellectual property for artists in the USA.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
at one point, one of the little creeps sitting. This is Joe Biden speaking. And at one point, one of the little creeps sitting around the table, who was a multi, close to a billionaire, told me he was an artist because he was able to come up with games to teach you how to kill people. That's that's not teaching you how to
Oof.
kill
Okay.
people. And I was lectured by one of the senior leaders there by saying that if I insisted on what they put together, and I thought we were going to fully support that they would blow up the network, figuratively speaking, have everybody contact. They get out and go, what the fuck am I even reading right now? I don't understand. So basically, Joe Biden's a salty little old man who doesn't understand video games. Vote Bernie Sanders for president. He has my vote up here in Canada. Bernie Sanders, number
Yeah.
one, the man, the myth,
Yeah.
the legend. So
Your vote helps that very much.
yeah,
Yes.
he doesn't understand. From what he's saying, he basically is just saying, oh yeah, games like Call of Duty are not considered art and stuff like that, which is not true because every video game is technically like a piece
Has
of
an
art.
art style.
It has an
Yeah.
art style. It's like it's not like a painting or anything, but it is like a way of expressing yourself and your creativity and stuff like that.
Anything that's not science, math, social,
Mhm.
whatever, those core subjects in school, anything other than that is art. If
Mhm.
you like
I'm
like
sorry. I'm sorry not all games are fucking volleyball. I'm sorry not all games are sitting in a retirement home just walking around as an old man like you are, Joe Biden. So shut the fuck up. Keep away from video games if you don't respect it. Cause like he could probably look at a game like Ori and the Blind Forest, one of the greatest video games that I've ever played, that has an
mhm.
incredible soundtrack, art style, everything like that. He could look at that and just like, this game's a piece of shit. It tells you how to blow things up with your magical bomb ability. It's like, shut the fuck up, old.
That's just
It
another it's just another excuse of the video games cause violence freaking argument
exactly. And in the
that
wise words of millennials, okay, boomer. That's all I'll say.
and but it actually makes sense for him because he would be a boomer
Is he a boomer?
depending on how old he is. I don't know. No idea.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my thing on it. He's he like I don't I like okay. I'm okay with him being like violent video games aren't okay in some way, because yes,
Mhm.
giving a 5-year-old Grand Theft Auto 5 and telling him to go steal cars and murder people and hold up stores isn't okay. But for someone that's like 16 years old that has a pretty developed brain that understands good and wrong for the most part, unless you neglect them as a child completely and let them turn into this
Mhm.
wannabe gangster that's like, oh, look at this, I got a gun, yeah, I got a gun, yeah, let me cop the hat, bro. Like, I'm gonna just unless you have kids like that, it's fine. I grew up playing League of Legends and Call of Duty. I played zombies when I was like
Yep.
10 years old. It scared the shit out of me, but it's not like, yeah, I'm gonna go grab a flamethrower and torch a bunch of dudes. Or like, I was 13 when I started playing Grand Theft Auto. It's like, yes, I like
Mhm.
stealing in a video game because guess what? There's no consequences other than what's inside the video game. It's not like,
Mhm.
oh, I stole from someone in a video game. That means I'm gonna steal from someone in real life. it's it's not, and like most video games, they're based off of real places and stuff like that. But if they are based off real places, then it's like, okay, it's very
And
very like conservative of what they do stuff. It's not like, yeah, we recreated it one for one, and if you look underneath this desk, there's a handgun, so you could take that handgun and go rob a museum with it or whatever. Like
yeah,
it's
and
not like
and
that.
there are like when you start the newest Call of Duty, for example, um, it literally has a warning. This contains graphic violence. Like when you play the campaign, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to continue before you even start the game? So it's
Yeah.
they're like video game companies are even putting this type of stuff in to like say, hey, this is a violent game, so it's not. There's the whole argument of like video games cause violence. I don't see how it's still a thing,
Mm-hmm.
but
And it's
that's just going like it's just it's what is it, scapegoating.
yeah, it's scapegoating. But like, let's be honest here. Like Modern Warfare 2, they have a mission where you literally gun down an entire fucking airport, but there's an
Mm-hmm.
option to skip that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and in most of these games, they have those options. It's like, and even in more recent Call of Duties, I remember there's a graphic mode and a non-graphic mode, so you can choose if you want the blood and all of that stuff, or if you don't want the blood. So
Mm-hmm.
it it's doing way better, and he should be pointing towards people that like there's a game a long long time ago. It was like I can't remember what it was called, but the whole premise of the game was you go and shoot civilians until you die. Like you're just a psychopathic murderer. I think it was like Hatred or
Okay.
something. So like a game like that, yeah, that's fucked up. And like if you want to make that game, you have the freedom to, and you have the freedom to play it. But like most people will realize like, yeah, that's fucked up. We're not going to support this thing. But most games like Call of Duty, it's like they're trying to tell a story or they're trying to give like a multiplayer kind of aspect where they
Mhm.
like can play with their friends and they can connect and they can, you know, just have fun, blow off
My
steam.
my argument on when people say like games like Call of Duty cause violence and teach you how to like shoot or whatever.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you think that, then how come I'm not pro hockey player? NHL gamers aren't professional real life hockey players.
Mhm.
Like, or Guitar Hero people aren't good at playing real guitar.
This
Like,
this motion right here, this is how people shoot in real life. They hold down the right trigger and the left trigger because this means they can aim and this means they can shoot. No, this doesn't teach you how to load a fucking handgun and cock it back and shoot someone. That's not how this works, Joe Biden. It's not how it works. This is not equivalent
yeah,
to a
but
gun. And it's like,
it's gonna happen all the time regardless.
yeah, exactly. But the fact that he was just like, these guys are little creeps. It's like, you're talking to people in Silicon Valley. They're like the smartest people in the fucking universe that don't work at like.
Especially when it comes to technology.
Exactly, right? It's like just besides people that work at NASA and shit like
Or
that.
Japan.
Yeah, like
But
some of these countries that
anyway,
have like really really good universities and stuff like that. I think like Switzerland or something has some really really good science programs. Like they have the Hadron Collider and stuff like that. But you can't call them little creeps because just because you're angry at them that like I make a video game that has shooting in it. Okay? It's not like they're teaching you it's like this is what a magazine is and they teaches you what rounds go into which guns because most of the guns in this game are like fiction. They're not real. They don't exist in the real world. I have never seen a Halo
you
battle
could
rifle.
put the you could put the parallel. With Call of Duty or Battlefield, they are real guns. Though
Yeah.
that's where the parallel when it comes to something like that. When you compare it to something like Halo or Apex or Fortnite, whatever.
Mhm.
No, they're not real guns, but like the main assault rifle is still based off of it's still based off of a real gun. So I do
Yeah.
see where they make that parallel, the
Mhm.
hand in hand inside of like, oh, this is what it actually looks like in real life, especially with how good graphics are now.
Yeah.
Like something like again like Call of Duty or Battlefield, where it's really hardcore based off of real life,
Mhm.
right? Uh, Fortnite, Apex, whatever, those ones are a little different, but still,
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
so I can see where people are getting that idea of like it influences, it gets you to know what it looks like in real life, but it still doesn't. It's still not enough of being like, no, go and kill a
Yeah.
bunch of people. But
Yeah. This isn't teaching
yeah,
me how to gun down a billion people. This is just making it so I can blow off steam and play a video game. And like most people don't even like think of it that
on
much.
Steam.
Exactly. On Steam.
On Steam. Sorry, there you go. Took you a second to
No,
to
I
get
got it.
my
I just was
joke.
like, do I acknowledge this or do I just blow past it?
Yeah.
Right? I have to fucking acknowledge it because that was actually pretty good. But yeah, it's like
Okay, we should.
when I play this, I just want to say this one thing. When most people play these like multiplayer games, they don't go in with the mindset of I'm gonna learn how to gun down a whole airport. They're like, I want to like be immersed in this cool story. I want to like shoot my friends in a multiplayer environment just for fun because I like
Mhm.
because you could do that with like airsoft or paintballs and stuff like that, but this is just easy because it's like
Mhm.
you can blow them up with a AC-130 and it's funny in the right context and stuff like that. Or they want to, or gamers want to have like a certain art style, or they want to experience like really good music. Or with me,
Mhm.
I really like achievements, so I play a game for achievements and I play a game for story and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I don't think there's many people that go in and they like buy Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It's like, I'm going to prepare for the future by knowing what the future weaponry is like and knowing how to reload every single gun. Like, nobody fucking cares, Joe. You bitch. Bernie
That's
Sanders
your rant.
2020. That's all I'm going to say. Bernie Sanders 2020, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Is the US election 2020 or is it
I think so. I think so. I think it's happening again. I think it's this year. Yeah,
Oh,
because I remember hearing um Epic Lloyd and
Ray William
Epic Lloyd
Johnson.
and Ray William Johnson. They were talking. Yeah, it's coming into an election year.
Are they like partners now? What happened with Nice Pete?
Not anymore. They ended their podcast at the end of 2019.
Oh, that's a shame.
Kings of Influence podcast. Yeah, they ended it like just after Christmas or something.
So yeah, uh,
Right.
rip that. But I never actually listened to their stuff, but I really like the epic rap battles of history, and I still watch them from time to time. Like I'll quote them and stuff like that. So,
Mm.
anyways, let's
I know
move.
you did in the last episode.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even remember what did I even quote. Which one did I quote?
Einstein, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, that one's pretty good. There are so many good ones. Like the older ones are so good. Like I watched Oppenheimer versus Thanos, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now? This doesn't seem like
Well,
an
that's
epic
just,
rap battle of history.
well, they also did one where it was like Genghis Khan versus the Easter Bunny. So that was the very first season of Epic Rap Battles of History.
I
So
think that one's
they
a
do
little.
go weird characters sometimes.
They go weird characters, but it just didn't feel like an epic rap battle of history. It like the humor and of season one back then. I was like, ah, that's funny. It's not, you know, up to their style.
It's
It's
also
not the same thing.
multiple years ago too. The
Yeah,
first season came out in like
2010 wasn't it?
2010 or something. Yeah, I was gonna say 2010, 2009, something like that.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna Google this real quick, but we're gonna move into our next topic as well. So we're gonna talk about some of our movies and TV show recap. So like 6 years ago, there were some of them. 5 years ago, 4 years ago. What was one of the first ones that you remember? It was like Kim Jong Il versus Hulk Hogan. That was a pretty old one because that had Timothy De La Ghetto. 8 years ago, so 2012 is when they kind of started doing this stuff.
Around the 10. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they did it with
Makes
Nice
sense.
Peter. Yeah, and they did a
Yeah.
new edit of it. I want to just like show you this real quick. So there is Hulk Hogan versus Kim Jong Il, 46 million views 8 years ago. The new edit, which was 7 months ago, got 2.9 million. And
Yeah,
all
they
they did,
definitely went down.
yeah, they definitely stopped
Well,
being super famous.
it's a different style. Like YouTube has changed over the years of what people are watching,
That's true.
right?
I feel like it's gotten a little bit less creative in some ways.
It's trying to become its own like kind of like platform, like because of the streaming wars and everything like that with Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu and all that.
Mhm.
YouTube is especially with YouTube its own premium content and everything like they're starting to get into the actual kind of like shows style instead of
Yeah.
just it used to be to get popular on YouTube you had to do no more than like 5 minute long videos if you did the 5 minutes was too long, but now you have like 20 minute half an hour long videos sometimes
Mhm.
like
And
to make an entire series an entire show.
yeah. So it's amazing how much YouTube has changed, but it's also really really sad because it's like the emphasis on like because you could have a 20-minute show back in 2010 as long
Mm-hmm.
as it was good people would watch, but now 10 minutes is the new normal. So if you had an idea for like a 2 minute skit, you have to somehow stretch that out into 12 minutes to make it like popular, unless you're someone like ProZD who used to be a viner and he still continues to like make basically vines. Like some of his
Mm-hmm.
longest.
Or like Zach King.
Yeah, he makes that like they both make videos that are like 30 seconds, 60 seconds long compared
Mm-hmm.
to other stuff, but they also dabble into the 10-minute, 20-minute videos. And some of them
Yeah.
are really entertaining. Like ProZD made a video. It was like, let's eat 21 different Lunchables. And he goes through all of the different Lunchables you get as a kid, so like the nachos and the sandwiches and the pizza and stuff like that. He just like
Mm-hmm.
dissects them all. Or Oreos. Oreos was hilarious. Like, who the fuck even thinks of that? Who's just like, yeah, I just want to eat 21 Oreos on camera, and he somehow finds a way to make it entertaining. That's the good shit. The people who upload full.
That's the you yeah that's the you of YouTube back in the day when people would just make, but that's what they're trying to get not get rid of because they still like that, you still have to be able to kind of make that type of content for YouTube, but they're trying to emphasize more on professionalism content with full crews and everything like that now to make it higher quality, better quality stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So, movie and TV show recap. Davis, you want to take it away for this one?
Not really take it away, but the only thing that since the last episode, um, I watched for anything that I finished watching Witcher. Um, that show was, especially with being a big Game of Thrones, and I remembered like how much hype I had for the trailers and everything when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely confusing, uh, because like each episode kind of like jumps different eras in time
Mm-hmm.
throughout the show and everything, which I still liked. I liked some episodes, like the more like filler episodes. I don't know. Have you ever watched it? But
Of Game of Thrones
no,
or
of
Witcher.
Witcher.
I haven't started watching. I am so
Okay.
hesitant to starting new shows because I'm just like, oh great, now I have to actually fucking pay attention to this rather than like keep
Well,
it to the side kind of
well,
thing.
there's one episode that's based about them going after a dragon, right? And
Haha, Game of Thrones.
that's yeah.
Ah.
Um, there's 8 episodes of the series, and I think that's episode like 5 or 6, something like that.
Mhm.
And it's not connected to the main story that much. And I found that episode more entertaining than the ones that are fully related to the main story, just because I don't know, that episode was just better to me. I don't know, I liked it better. The whole main story seemed long and convoluted for no reason.
Yeah.
But again, that's kind of like same idea like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was convoluted, took a little bit to kind of get into.
Mhm.
I'm like it got announced already that season 2 is already happening. It already got greenlit for another
Mhm.
season, which is not a surprise after considering you were just saying that they're doing an animated series as well, right?
Yeah. Then and
So,
it's like this market was untapped for so long, and then finally someone was like, "Okay, let's tap into it." After probably about like 20 years of making shitty uh video game movies like the old Mario Bros, where Yoshi was like a legit raptor, or Hitman 47, or the World of Warcraft movie. Like those
mhm.
movies upset fans. Like
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed with the fucking robot arm
Yeah.
thing. It's like that's not how that works, but I like
Mhm.
the idea that they went with it, but it's like no, you gotta if you're picking Assassin's Creed, as much as you don't like it, you kind of have to stick to the story of them laying down like this and the Animus stuff like that,
Mhm.
and which is weird because I went and I saw the Warcraft movie. I was like, oh, it was an alright movie, and my friend who's a Warcraft nerd, he was like, it sucked. I'm like, why did it suck?
Yeah.
He's like, the lore, like that's not how Fel works. Fel doesn't just appear out of the ground or whatever like that.
Mm.
It's like really really
See,
weird
I
stuff.
don't know anything about the World of Warcraft games, like other than the fact that it's a fantasy MMORPG.
Mm,
Like, but as a movie, I didn't like the movie at all. The movie itself was just, it was just bad. I didn't like that movie. It was
it's just
terrible.
not a good movie.
Even though the only thing saving grace about the WoW movie was that it had the guy that played the human
Hmm.
is the guy who plays the in the first I think 3 or 4 seasons he plays one of the lead characters in Vikings, and I really liked that show. So
Yeah.
that was one of the main reasons I watched the WoW movie.
Hmm. Just to see him.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Um,
good reason to see it.
yeah,
Hmm.
I like him as an actor. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, to go back onto what I was saying there. So, yeah, I finished watching Witcher. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but I'm still 1 episode behind on Titans. I've been talking about it for a while now, and I still haven't just watched that final episode.
Hmm.
Um,
It's sticking in the back of your mind. It's
yeah,
just like
it's
it's
literally just one
gnawing
more
at you.
episode that I need to finish this season. It's like, God damn it, why haven't I watched it yet?
Just do it.
Um, now there's now that Crisis on Infinite Earths is done, all of the rest of the individual shows, the new episodes are out, like uh Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Flash, all of those shows. Like I watch all of them anyway, so I'm gonna be watching those within the next few days, be catching up on all of those.
Hmm.
But yeah, I watched, even though there was a lot of negative hype, I don't know why, but I watched World Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah.
So like I remember hearing like reviews about it were like, oh, it's so plain Jane, it's just the same thing over and over, like same thing as the first one. But that's what a sequel is. It's like I don't get what the hype was. It was still like honestly, it was still like just as good as the first one. There was no like the first. It's the same as any other thing. The first one is almost always the best of any series,
Mhm.
and they actually like they make a few jokes in this one about the fact that it's 10 years later that
Mhm.
from the first one.
Yeah.
So they mentioned a few things about that, and the concept still it's another zombie movie. Like it's still good, but it's a comedy zombie movie, and the
Mhm.
zombies like enhanced it a little bit. So I thought it was still yeah
Still
just
okay.
as good as
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
as the original. So
Well, I
um
know there was a lot of like not like negative hype, but there was a lot of discussion going on about that movie being like, oh, it's probably going to be either the same thing or it's going to be terrible or it's not going to nearly live up to how it was before and stuff like
mhm,
that. But there was also like a lot of that stigma came from the video game that spawned off of it because there was like the Zombieland Double Tap, the video game, which was just your
mhm.
boring double twin stick shooter that's costing like $80 and you're just sitting there just like I don't understand why this is $80, but
Right,
whatever.
we talked about it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but you know, people have to make money,
Yeah,
but selling that for $80 is not a way that you can make legitimate money off of it.
yeah, I think we talked about this in our reaction video to the Zombieland 2
Hmm.
trailer.
Yeah,
Either that or in one of the previous podcasts,
yeah,
something
exactly.
like that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was still good for the most part. Like it wasn't um yeah, nothing too bad. I would go back and watch both of them again. Like yeah, I liked them both.
Hmm.
And then the big kind of hype quote unquote movie
Hype.
that I that I saw was the one that I was hyped for the longest time.
Hmm.
Da 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 da. Yeah, I saw Jane Silent Bob reboot.
Hmm.
Woo!
And the your words were, yeah, it's just another.
It's a, it's it's a Kevin Smith movie. You have to like his style movies to like this movie, which I liked it because I am a Kevin Smith fan. But it's you could still tell that it's still that like maybe like $50 million budget or whatever. Like it's not a blockbuster style movie, but that's what like that realm is where Kevin Smith sits. Is that like
Hmm.
not indie, but not multi-million-dollar movies. Like he makes that like 20, $50 million movies, and like you can tell that there's more money behind this than like basically any of his other major studios or anything like that, anything else that he's majorly done.
Hmm.
And he just riffs on himself the entire movie, and it's hilarious.
Uh,
Um,
you gotta love it when they actually like have fun with themselves. It's not like, oh, I am a serious. There was a fucking movie a long time ago, like no, not the Punisher. It was like some shitty action movie, and they couldn't get funding for it, so they made a Kickstarter campaign. And the guy was so upset that nobody wanted him to make this film that he went on a Twitter rampage or whatever. He made a video saying like, you know, I have enough money to play golf comfortably for the rest of my life, so go fuck yourselves. You're never gonna get to see this like movie. Go fuck yourselves. Goodbye. And everyone's just like, okay. Like,
okay, bye.
nobody
Have
cared about
fun.
all of your movies have been box office flops, and you really think people want to see another box office flop? No, nobody
Hmm.
wants to see that shit. Like, even if you have fans, then it's like your fans are like 20 out of 200 million people. So, just chill your shit, calm your ego there. And he's like, I have money to play golf for the rest of my life, and I'm just sitting there like,
Then
okay.
fund your own movie.
So yeah, just fund your own movie. You don't have, it's like if it's really that much of a passion project for you, just fucking pay it yourself. But anyways, I
Mhm.
was yeah, that's my take on it.
And there's been filmmakers I don't remember, but I just remember an assignment. One of the videos we watched in class. There's last I think it was last semester. We was talking about some people that take years to make their movie just because they've been wanting to make this movie, and they just keep on trying to get funding, keep on trying to, and they just have the passion behind it, and they end up making it,
Mhm.
and it may not be the best thing in the world, but that's just the shows passion behind it, and that's like what Kevin Smith does.
Yeah.
Like that's how he grew in popularity. Was he's not super well known. Like a random person off the street may not know who he is compared to if I say Adam Scorsese, for example. People
Who?
know who Adam Scorsese. Fuck you.
I don't. Okay, I don't know
Um,
names that well, other than like, oh,
um,
Robert Downey Jr. Because
I'm
Iron Man.
trying to think of it.
Let me Google an Adam Scorsese film.
No, yeah, I'm trying to think of
Try-
or
There's Martin Scorsese.
that's what I meant.
Oh,
What did I say?
Adam.
Oh, sorry.
Who the fuck? I
Uh,
recognize him. Let me. Oh,
but
wait, hold on. It said
anyway,
Irishman, Goodfellas. I don't think I've seen. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So my point being, like, unless you're someone like myself that you go through and you like his style of movie, you like his movies, then you're not gonna really know it. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was a Kevin Smith movie. I liked it enough to be like, okay, I get it. I get what this movie's about.
Mhm.
It's yeah, it's a Kevin Smith movie. So I still enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear, cause with all these shitty movies coming out and stuff like that. What was it, Doolittle, that flopped, even though Robert Downey Jr. is like in it? They're like, yeah,
Yeah,
this movie
I don't
sucked
I doubt it's
cock.
gonna I doubt it's gonna flop. I don't think it's but I have no idea. I haven't heard major reviews yet, but I just heard that it's not doing as well as anticipated.
Mhm.
Apparently,
Oh,
I have a feeling that it's still gonna lose money, or it's gonna be like at par or barely make its money back type thing, because it's another multi-million-dollar movie
mhm.
type thing, especially, and good chunk of that is just Robert Downey Jr. alone, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So it's sad when it's like, oh yeah, this actor who did super well. Yeah, it couldn't. He could not even he could save the shitty movie.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's what they get for rebooting a movie that no one wanted to reboot to
Yeah, there was.
again, or like Cats.
Yeah, that one was a flop. That like that's not even a fucking question. It flopped.
No.
It.
Yeah, 100%. Nobody wanted it. And they spent so much money on these high name actors
Mhm. And then
and artists and
yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if those people actually did it because they probably were like, yeah, you're gonna like, we'll give you $80 million, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care, and they did it anyways,
Probably.
or if they believed that it would actually be good. It's like if we all band together like the cats in the play, we'll be able to rule the world with the Cats movie, or if they're just
Well,
like,
the thing
nah,
is
fuck it, I
they
just did it for money.
I have a feeling it's that because to my knowledge, there wasn't even a whole lot of like press tour or anything. Like they didn't go on Fallon, they didn't do like other into Ellen or any of these like large
Mhm.
interview things that like even as to going back to Doolittle, Robert Downey Jr. has been requested to do Joe Rogan Experience for years,
Yeah.
and he's just getting onto it now because he has a movie that he has to actually do press for because anything Marvel
Mhm.
and people were going to go to it regardless, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So they still did press for all the Marvel movies, but not as much as they would have had to, right?
Yeah. Like they didn't
Compared to and
have to do it. Like
yeah,
every Marvel fan in the world is like, "Oh my god, I have to go see this movie." Right?
yeah, exactly.
So it's like they don't even have to do any work. They're just like, "Yeah, this is literally going to speak for ourselves." So,
Hmm. So yeah, like movies, I'm not surprised by like Doolittle. It's just yes, it's the charisma of RDJ, but
mhm.
it's still okay. He's not Iron Man, so it's not the hype behind
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Listen, unless Doolittle somehow gets an Iron Man suit out and you just hear the Avengers theme behind him, I don't fucking want to see this movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. The only things that I've seen recently that are actually decent was Sex Education. The second season came out. Uh, for being a show about high schoolers like having sex and all of this shit, it's a really good it's a really good TV show with a lot of story.
Hmm.
I don't like the second season as much because there isn't nearly enough like consequences and stuff like that. Like the last episode left it on a cliffhanger of like these characters, like what is going to happen to them, what are they going to do, right? And then it comes back and it solves a lot of the answers, but it's like they everyone gets their own little story. It's like before it was like one, two, three characters had their own little
Hmm.
story, and then there were a few side stories. But then now all
Hmm.
it's like eight main characters all having a story and stuff like that.
Oof.
And
Yeah,
it's
because I remember the main story was between the two kids, and then the because I just and then he gets ends up dating the one girl, and then his gay friend he and like starts ignoring his gay friend, and they're supposed to go to like the dance, like the prom or whatever, as
Mhm.
friends, and then he ditches him or something. I
Like,
vaguely remember. It's been a while since the
oh,
first season since I watched it.
they were going to a movie which premieres every once in a while, and they dress up
Oh,
in
that's what it
character
was.
and stuff, and then he had something going on or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to ditch him for it, and then he got beat up because he was a gay black man dressed up in drag, so they
Mm-hmm.
just beat him up and spit on him and shit. But after that, like the ending to the season was like, okay, this girl got kicked out of school to defend her family, and
Mm-hmm.
then he got into a relationship with this other, or the Otis, the main character, got into a relationship with another girl, and Eric, the gay black guy, he started having feelings for this boy who got shipped off to military school and stuff like
Right,
that. Yeah.
right. Yes. Okay. I have to go back and start season 2 now because yeah, I remember
Yeah.
it was a good show.
Yeah, but then it's like the mom gets into a relationship and then everything starts going to shit and it's less about, the sex therapy kind of stuff. It just
Mm-hmm.
gets really really convoluted, but it was a really good season despite all of that stuff. It was still good
Mm-hmm.
enough that I was able to follow through, and there was like one moment I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is going to end up terribly," because it was Otis getting super drunk and like explaining all his feelings and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh god, I have literal cringe moments when I see those in TV shows. Whenever a character's about to do something embarrassing, I feel personally embarrassed, and I'm like, oh fuck me, and then I like turn away, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this right now.
They
That
know their audience. That's how
exactly.
they that yeah.
But if you haven't seen Sex Education, give it a try. It's actually a really really good show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely has the like yeah, story to it, and it's yeah, most
Mhm.
people like it.
Yeah.
To my knowledge at least.
Mhm. Okay, and then there was I haven't really seen anything else other than that. I haven't really seen any movies or anything like that. But speaking of movies, did you hear there's a theater in Edmonton that now has a 270-degree screen?
No?
So it's like a front screen and then the two walls over here are basically screens. So it's like, how my
Oh
computer
wow.
is like a 3 monitor setup. So yeah, just imagine that in a theater.
I've heard of those. I've like it's like 40x or whatever, and I've heard of or something like that,
Well, there's
and didn't know.
there's like
It,
4DX, which is like, uh, you could see, you could see and you can hear the movie, but you can also like smell the movie and feel
mm-hmm.
it. So that like it'll have like smell effects come out, or it's like, if you're in a bumpy car, then you're going like this,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
exactly. The
which we roasted because I was like, if
the D box seats.
yeah,
Yeah.
the D box. It's like, listen, if I'm watching a movie about fast race cars, like, imagine if I was watching Baby Driver. Imagine if, like, you just went, like,
I
like,
well, I did see Furious
like,
7 in D box,
mm-hmm.
and I remember I think I only put it to like the second level of intensity because like when they're actually going down and it's like okay, this is like no, this is distracting.
Yeah, exactly.
So and I think that was the last time I saw a movie like that.
I don't go to a movie to experience it. I go to a movie to, like, make me want to
Waste
experience
time.
it. Yeah, exactly. I go to a movie to enjoy the story. I don't want to go to a movie and have something poking the back of my head. Like, if it's a creepy movie and it happens every once in a while, like there's like someone poked your shoulder, like only if you were really immersed and you like turned around or something, and then, like the
Hmm.
sound went off in your ear, that would be fine. But most of the time, people
Hmm.
are gonna like feel it in the back of their shoulders, like, yeah, something's gonna happen. She's right behind you, bitch. Turn around, and you're dead. I give up. And they'll be like literally just say done in the middle of the theater and walk out. Like that's how 40x is for me.
Hmm.
I don't want to taste the Rock sweat while he's working out at the gym. I don't care. I just want to see his glistening muscles.
I just
I
need to see the glistening
As
muscles.
long
Don't
as
need
I
to
see the
taste them.
glistening muscles, I know it's probably like, yeah, if I tasted his sweat, it probably tastes like shit. I don't want to actually taste it. I don't want to smell his fucking pits when he's working out. Nor do I want to smell gasoline if they're like surrounded by cars. I don't want any of that. I just want to enjoy a movie, like sitting down with the like. Oh, also, that's a terrible thing for snacks, by the way. Imagine you're like watching a Fast and Furious movie, and you have a drink in your hand, and you have like this chair on the highest intensity. It's like intensity number 8, and you're just like, you're fucking deep throating a straw
It's
at
not.
that point. You're literally
That's an
stabbing
over
yourself.
exaggeration, but okay.
Yeah, it's an over exaggeration, but if they're trying to make it as realistic as possible, it's gonna get to that point where they're like, the fucking straw is just gonna go, and you're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna poke out your
Yeah, but
tonsils.
movie theaters are trying to do as much as they can to get people to actually go to the movie theater,
Yeah, fuck that.
considering, yeah, Netflix, Disney, and everything, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to like
We've
like
discussed this before.
the only time that I actually felt immersed in like a cinema experience with like 4D effects is the Disney ride Soarin', where you literally are laying flat or you're sitting in this like chair and it's like you're hang gliding through the air. So there's like
Hmm.
wind blowing on your face, you're actually risen above the ground. There's like wind and there's like a little bit of water that comes down and sprinkles you in the face. It's nothing too bad, but that's like the entire point. There's no story to be distracted by. It's literally just supposed to give you the illusion that you're flying. That's fine.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only time I've enjoyed it. Like I went to like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids one back in like
Hmm.
2008 or whatever the fuck, and it's like, oh, they blow air to simulate like rats running by your feet, or like
I
if
was
you
gonna
get
say,
poked in
yeah,
the back.
I did the exact same thing. Was when I went to Disneyland when I was 12. That's the first thing that made me think of that.
Hmm.
I went to Disneyland when I was 12. I don't know what year that would have been, but yeah, it was something like that because I remember doing that like exact basic thing.
Hmm. It's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It kind of
It's
it,
fun for kids.
I don't know. I if I was in a theater like that and I had some 8-year-old screaming their head off because they hated this because I hated it when I was a kid. There's probably a ton of kids that would hate that, just like feeling like the air under their feet, like, oh, there's a bunch of mice. Like maybe they're scared of mice. Sorry, I'm not here to watch Honey I Shrunk. The kid behind me is fucking screaming his head off. I came here to watch Honey I Shrunk the goddamn children, and I almost ate one of them. That's what I want to watch. I don't want to hear at the fucking back of the theater.
But then on the opposite spectrum of that, I've also been to like the planetarium too, where
Yeah,
they you lean back in the chairs and they do a full immersive like view of like the stars and the galaxy and everything like that, and it was narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
that's fucking
So
cool though, because
that was one of,
it gives you the illusion that you're like looking up at the stars. It's like
yeah,
there's no way in
it's
hell I'll go to a movie theater to do that. I will go to a planetarium because they can do it right.
yeah,
It's like,
it was fun.
yeah, that's fun, but the problem is it's like if they imitate a horror movie, as soon as you get poked in the back, you know something's going to happen or something like that. So there's no way that they can
Mm.
keep suspense with it. With action movies and stuff like that, they're going to keep blasting you with water like it's blood, just like and then suddenly your popcorn is soaked. I said popcorn this time, Davis. Be proud. And you're just gonna
Yay!
like you're gonna walk out of the theater look like you pissed yourself. Like that's not fun. It's embarrassing. It's fucking stupid. Fuck 4DX. That's my rant. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Don't I I was just saying like the 270 screen. It doesn't have 4DX at all. It's just regular seating, but it's just like a way bigger screen, so you could see more of it. I think that's cool.
I've never understood the point of that though, because like
Yeah.
the movie's happening in front of you. What do you need to see? Like even say like for example, I'm gonna use the final scene of Avengers Endgame where all everyone's coming in.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you may get glimpses of other characters that you didn't see before in the regular screening, but the main action, what the story is telling, each character, Star Lord's scene is in the middle of the screen.
Mhm.
Iron Man's scene, Spider Man, like all of the character that we're following the story for is here. So why do you need to see all this little itty bits of stuff on the side? I don't.
Yeah. That's true. I can see it like that, but I hope like movies will use that to their advantage. Like, oh, if you actually looked over towards this side, you could see like a cool little Easter egg or something, or you could see like if these people are talking about like having a truce, and you see like a snake, like someone who's being a snake, like cut gas wires or something like that. So you could see like that's not going to go right or something. That would be, and like if you paid attention to that, then you would know what's going on for the rest of the movie. That would be kind of interesting, but also I don't want to take my eyes off of the screen for the most
Hmm.
part. It would be really cool.
Yeah, again, I see why theaters would be doing it. It's to add that extra wow factor to get people out of their house.
Mhm. I would
But
love to see a scene like the one example is I'll say Pokemon Detective Pikachu. So there's like a scene where there's like all of these tubes of different Pokemon and stuff. So you have like these Torterra on one side, and then the Greninja on the other, and then you have this big hole in the hallway. Imagine you could see the giant hole in the hallway on the big screen, but on the other two screens you see like the side stuff. So if you look around while it's like slightly zooming forward, you could be like, oh look, that's where the Greninjas are, or look, that's where the Torterras are. Like that would be fucking cool.
yeah, it's just a little bit of extra like wow factor of it.
Yeah, but it's not made for this stuff,
Hmm.
unfortunately. Okay, we have a section called Hype for 2020. So basically, we're gonna be talking about what we're excited for come 2020. Well, 2020's already come, but like what is gonna be coming up in the future that we're excited for. So
Throughout the year.
yeah, throughout the
Yeah.
year and stuff like that. So like of course for me there it's like mostly video games. So I have like 12 minutes, which is made by the developers of, or which is being published by the company that made What Remains of Edith Finch, which is a pretty cool game I played last year. Cyberpunk 2077 is gonna be huge on my list. Doom Eternal, uh, Ghosts of Tsushima, which is one of the games I would actually play on my PlayStation because it's not going to come to Xbox, I don't think, for a while.
Hmm.
Uh, but there's that. There's Half-Life Alyx, but you need VR for it. Which, by the way, fuck Valve, fuck you, Valve, for this. You make a sequel to Half-Life 2, which people have been wanting for 10 years, and you make it for VR? Why would you do this?
uh,
Doesn't make any sense. You're gonna really like block it off. It's not like it's a huge price tag of like, oh yeah, this game cost $120. It's like this game costs thousands of dollars because you have to buy the equipment for VR. You have to buy the goggles. You have to buy the camera stands. You have to buy the
is it
controllers.
is it Oculus or is it PlayStation
Oculus.
VR?
So far as I know, it's Oculus. It will
Hmm.
be released March 2020 on Steam, and it's compatible with all PC-based VR headsets. So you
Okay,
could
so
get the
basically, yeah.
Oculus or the Vive or whatever, but
Mm.
still, I would buy that game if it
Yeah,
came
I
as a
don't.
regular game.
I was gonna say it would make more sense if they were doing it like here's this, and then if you want more content, here spend an extra like it's an $80 game. The $100 version is the game plus the VR experience or something like that. Right. Instead of it just being VR like that. That yeah, that would piss me as a person
Well,
that's been waiting for a game like that. Yeah, that'd be annoying.
well, I went to Black Friday a couple of years ago with a couple buddies of mine, and he got a VR for like VR Skyrim because he's like, I put thousands of hours into Skyrim, and I want to play it on VR on PlayStation, so you can actually feel
Hmm.
what it's like. And it's like, that's fine. If you have to spend more money on that, that's fine. But why are you blocking off the literal millions of other fans that just have the game on console or on PC that
Hmm.
don't want to buy a VR system or don't have the space? This green screen,
Don't
I
have the
barely have.
money.
Yeah, I don't have enough fucking space for this green screen. You think I have enough space for a VR system around here? No, so I'm gonna have to skip Halo, Half-Life Alyx until, you know, until it comes to non-VR, and maybe it'll be shit. Who knows?
Mm.
It could possibly be shit. But anyways, what else is there? Halo Infinite, definitely hyped for that one. There's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which fans are probably pretty excited for. Marvel's Avengers, which I could really give less of a fuck about. This game looks
I
awful.
yeah, I heard they're pushing that as well because they're trying to remaster it to make it actually look more like the movie characters, Robert
Mm,
Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, instead of just generic like
yeah.
people.
Well,
Yeah, I heard that they're.
I'm pulling up the picture right now. Like, look at this shit. Look at this. I can't even zoom for apparently. Look at this. Iron Man looks fine. Doesn't look exactly perfect. Black Widow, what the fuck is going on with her face? That does not look like Scarlett Johansson. Sorry. Thor, for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, is rocking the beard, but way more aggressive. Looks like an old man. And then Hulk, face is fine. The body proportion just does not look right. So I don't fucking know.
What
I'm
what
glad
is
they're
that
pushing it.
coming out on?
Um,
Isn't it a mobile?
Google Stadia, PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox.
Cool. I
So
might get it. I'm not super concerned about what the characters look like, as I've always said, because I don't buy like skins or anything like that. So
mhm.
the gameplay is definitely more important, and I'm a Marvel fan. So if
There
it's
you
not
go.
too expensive, I'm or too crazy, or if I have time or any of those factors, because
Mhm.
again, I'm not much of a gamer,
Yeah.
but I might get it.
Yeah. So there's like Minecraft Dungeons, which I'm really, really hyped for because I like Minecraft and I like those like dungeon-esque type games, so that would be really cool. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I still have to do a stream for my One Life run through of that, but it's coming March 11th, so only 2 months away, which is pretty nice. Persona
Hmm.
5 Royal. Um,
Of course, you're hyped for that.
mhm. That well, Earl's hyped for that. That's gonna be Earl's top of his list he's gonna get. I'm hyped for that as well, but I'm probably not gonna play it because it's like, oh, PlayStation, ew. I'm just waiting for exclusives to come to all consoles, even though I probably won't like it. But yeah, let's go into like your stuff because that was like all of the games that I have. Oh well, of course, like SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, of course.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's that.
And yeah, you were saying you're not super excited for anything new for shows or anything right now because you're just rewatching old stuff right now. So
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty
and
much
my
right.
end is opposite. Like this is funny that literally as expected, you're talking about video games, I'm talking about movies, and that's how our podcast works.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's the first thing. And to no surprise, I'm talking about mostly comic book content, especially Marvel.
Mhm.
I'm gonna list one, two for sure that are not comic book related.
Mhm.
Which I'm kind of surprised you didn't list, but um, one thing that I am definitely excited for is the new Bill and Ted movie, which
Yeah, that one is
yeah,
on my list as well.
that's on my list. It's gonna be good. The new reboot, remake, rehash, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Bill and Ted. I don't remember what the subtitle's called, but
Bill
anyway,
and Ted.
still looks good anyway.
It's like, isn't it like Into the Music or something?
Something like that.
Bill
But
and Ted Face the
yeah,
Music.
that
There you go.
face the music. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's definitely the one non superhero related movie that's on my list that I'm excited for.
Blasphemy.
Uh, and then the next thing I'm definitely excited for is the next season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is coming out
I'm out. I'm
in
on a marathon.
February, I think February or March, something like that. So I've been I've binged the entire show multiple times. Most people binge Friends. I've binge watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so
Yeah, that's what I do as
I'll
well.
still watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine again.
Mhm.
See how that goes. And then, yeah, those are like the basically off the top of my head, the only things that I thought of basically that aren't real like Marvel related.
Well, what about Sonic the
uh,
Hedgehog?
I don't think I'm even gonna see it.
I probably will see it eventually, but like, well, I have a
Yeah,
bunch of
that
free movies, so I might as well use them, right?
yeah,
So
that eventually part is the where it comes down to it.
the kicker, yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and then the other ones I was thinking of here, the most excited one. There are a lot of shows, Marvel shows that are coming to Disney Plus. Um, but the one show that might make it that I might actually get Disney Plus is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's the
Mm,
one that I'm mostly excited about. It seems to have the most like context, most kind of like story behind it because I like them in the MCU
yeah,
compared to like WandaVision or Loki. Like those ones don't really have a whole lot of context behind them yet.
yeah.
It seems like Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be, to my knowledge, like the best of the movies or shows, I mean.
Mhm.
And then I'm also then going into, even though Black Widow is coming out soon, like next month. I'm not super hyped for that though, so that's a weird MCU one that I'm not really excited for.
Yeah.
But again, I will probably still see it just because I've seen every other MCU movie, so I will still probably just follow it, even just for the hell of saying that I've seen it. Um,
Mhm.
but the MCU film that I'm actually more excited about this year is the Eternals because it's going to go into like there's gonna be just well, the cast is gonna be really good. The characters. I don't know a whole lot about the Turtles, but I've been watching a few more videos and getting a little more explanation on them.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be it's when more stuff gets out and more information comes out. I know that when the trailer does eventually come out, whenever the hell it decides to come out,
Mhm.
it's gonna be big. Um, yeah, I think that's definitely the most anticipated Marvel movie for this year. And the last on my list that I have so far is Wonder Woman 1984
Which I
because the
don't
first,
understand.
well, it's yeah, the yeah, I don't know why it's 84, but
Mhm.
anyway, yeah. That was, in my opinion, Wonder Woman is the best DCEU movie so far. A lot of some people say Aquaman was better, but I say it's Wonder Woman is still better between the two. But it's not really hard. Most of the DCE movies are bad, so
Mhm.
but Wonder Woman is definitely the best of all of them. So I think the sequel is going to be good, and because I like Gal Gadot in the character, and it's the one like DC thing that I'm really looking forward to.
Mhm. Are you looking forward to New Mutants?
Kind of, sorta. Again, I don't really know the like any of the character. I don't know any of the hype or anything behind it.
Mhm.
The trailer does look good, and same thing with Morbius too. That both of them do look good,
Mhm.
but they weren't anything that I was like. Morbius just came out of nowhere. I didn't even know about it like at all.
Mhm.
New Mutants, because of what's been happening with Fox and Marvel and everything like that. It's I wasn't sure if it was still even coming out at all, so I kind of like lost interest in it.
Yeah.
But the new trailer, like we talked about last episode, the trailer does look good.
Yeah.
It does look interesting, but again, I don't know if I'm still even gonna see it. Again, just because like there's just been so much mess with anything mutant related, like
Mhm.
since like all the anything X-Men related mutants, all the movies they have all been for the most part have been subpar.
Mhm.
Like I last X-Men movie, so I saw Dark Phoenix, even though people said it was bad, I still saw it anyway. And I shouldn't have saw it, so I shouldn't have seen
I
it.
told you not to
I
see it, dude. I told you
Yeah, I
don't
decided not.
fucking
So
do.
this time I'm like, do you know what? I'm gonna. I think this is gonna be a wait till it comes on DVD type thing, and
Yeah.
then see it.
Unless
Like,
you see all the hype for it, unless it's like the best movie ever, guys. This is the fucking best movie ever. You gotta go see it, and then it'll be like, okay, well,
well,
maybe.
maybe because I that's how I ended up watching Joker. Was everyone saying, "Oh, it was really good. It was really good. It was really good." And I was on the fence on seeing it, and I ended up watching it.
It didn't
So
disappoint.
it Joker was interesting. To say that it was, yeah,
Interesting, to say the
yeah,
least.
it was a good movie, but um, there were some flaws with it still too. I think, but
I guess
yeah,
there's always flaws in movies, but yeah, some
yeah,
flaws are too big to ignore.
yeah, exactly. So it will depend on, but it will depend on what the critic or not the critic, what the fan reviews are,
Mhm.
because the fan reviews tend to be more honest than the critic reviews. Like
Yeah.
yeah, critic reviews are
Critic
never
reviews
as
are garbage.
reliable.
They'll be like,
Yeah,
yeah, this game you are. It's like imagine the promised Call of Duty, but it's like all you could do is sit. Critics would be like, this game has a way better look into Call of Duty than ever before. 10 out of 10 game, and like all the gamers will be like, this game sucks ass. 0 out of 10, and it's like, on Metacritic, it'll be like, yeah, critic rating 87, user rating 0, and it's like, who do you believe at that point? You always believe the
Yeah,
users, because it's like,
exactly.
mm-hmm. Because even something like that was super duper shitty, like Anthem, where it was like, this game has so many fucking problems with it, but they don't address them ever, and it still is managing to get away with like 9s and 10s compared to all of the
Hmm.
user reviews that are like, yeah, I've been playing this game for 20 hours, I still can't do anything. 0 out of 10.
Hmm.
So, all the there's a trick that I learned when reviewing things. If you review something, what you have to do is you have to go and leave a 1-star review on the like review page for it, and then just give it really good praise, because then people will be like, "Hey, why is this? Did this person give a 1-star thing?" Because they'll be like, "Yeah, this one person gave it 1 stars." And then you're just like, "You know what? I rated it 1 star so you would read this review. It's actually really good." That's how
Yeah,
you know something's good.
because they respond to the negative reviews. They don't respond to the 5-star.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I'm
So,
wondering why. Yeah, why is it a negative? So they can try to get you to re-like it, and then they have to actually read it. And then,
hmm
oh, okay,
yeah.
yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, there you go. So, and there was a tip provided to me by Cole. Shout out to Cole, fucking cool guy. But yeah,
He's a good, real good guy.
there's a Monster Hunter movie coming out soon, which is really interesting. It's already in post production, so I'm excited to see how that is. But there's also Free Guy from Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds.
right, Ron Reynolds, Free Guy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is also in post, which looks super cool.
Hmm.
I'm
It's Ryan Reynolds movie, so it's give and take. Some Ryan Reynolds movies are good, some are bad.
Green
He
Lantern.
seems, yeah. But
Yeah.
I also, speaking of not Green Ryan Reynolds, the movie that just came out on Netflix.
Yeah,
Um,
what is it even about?
what is it called? I
Oh,
saw it. It was good. Um, but yeah,
Six
I really liked
Underground?
it. Six Underground. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just ran showed up on Netflix. I didn't remember seeing any trailers or anything like that. It just kind of showed up on the main page, and it was like, I was like, ah.
Hmm.
So this kind of goes back to the previous topic of things that I watched, but whatever. That just reminded me. Yeah, it was pretty good. I like the context of the story, and like they set it up in a way where it ends, so it could just be just the one movie,
Mm-hmm.
or it could continue into sequels if need be. Like if it
Yeah.
gets enough hype,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
how yeah, because they kind of set up like kind of loose thread of like, you know what? Yeah, this ends the movie. We did a good movie. Let's just make it a one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we want to like, and this is how it's going to continue if need be. Like
Yeah.
but they ended it really well in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I hope that they. I haven't seen Six Underground, and I haven't really heard anything about it, but it looks like it's a spy movie or something like that, like some
It's
action movie. Yeah, action thriller. I love the
yeah.
tag on it. The tag on it says "slick." That's not a tag that you usually associate with movies, but you know, I guess it. I guess it does it. All right, but I think
Anyway,
that's gonna
yes,
wrap it up
that's
for the this episode of the podcast with the very few like technical issues that we've had on this show.
oof,
I'm surprised
yeah.
that this happened so much, but at least we figured
Sometimes we
it out.
cut out once. I don't think we've had difficulties this bad, and it's been a long time since we've had this much of a difficulty. But
Well, usually
apologies.
the last time we had this issue was like when we use Discord. Like we're using Discord now because apparently the video service for Discord is now better than what we used before we swapped over to Facebook. So we went from Discord to Facebook because Discord started sucking really bad. So we went to Facebook and Facebook was doing really well. And now it's really shit for some reason today. So we swapped back over to Discord. Discord is actually holding its own. And
Hmm.
Davis hasn't yet to drop. Now that I say that, he's going to drop right at the end. But
Yeah.
like, like I don't understand why, and we never usually have these issues. But when we used to have these issues, I remember it's like, okay, we tried, we don't know what we're doing wrong, but let's just give up for the day. Like we
Hmm.
tried our best, nothing is
Almost
working.
gave up for the day.
Well, we almost gave up for the day, but like way back before, we were just like, okay, we'll
Yeah.
try this again another day. We'll see if it works then, or something like that, or
We
we'll
had
figure it out in person.
yeah.
So yeah, it's not
But
a very fun time. So
but as
But
of now, we got it working.
yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening. This has been the M3 podcast. We will be back again next week, hopefully. Hopefully we can get everything good.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Okay, see ya.